'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. Now, as you can kind of see, we're already pretty much back on our feet. That's the beauty of playing solo, it doesn't take very long. It's a shame that we lost the tames that we had, like it would have been nice to keep them, but you can't do much about it. It was the one night that I left them stored together, but usually I'd leave them at opposite ends of the map. But that time I decided to leave them together because I was in a real rush that day, and well, you pretty much seen what ended up happening.
Hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
But I mean, we got out with the eggs because I was smart enough to stash them. I knew it was coming, I spoke about it in a couple episodes before it. That's why I pretty much started preparing for it. So that way, when I could bring out a new episode, I didn't have to sit you through going from stage 1 back up to where I was again. So I've pretty much skipped past all of that. There's still a lot to do, especially while we don't have any tames. I do want to get some sort of tame to get meat on, because if I can do that, then I'll have a crack at raising those eggs. I'm not going to get a very high imprint on them, because no doubt they're going to ask for kibble that I don't have, of course. But at the moment we have nada, we're back to square one as far as tames go. So any tame that we can get our hands on really would help. I'm actually really excited to hatch those eggs and see what they come out like, because they had a fuck ton of shit. And they were obviously friends with the big dog on the server because they had stuff inside their base that belonged to them. So that leads me to believe there's a good fat chance that I'm going to crack those eggs, and they probably have the stats of the big dog on the server because they're obviously friends, and I assume that they'd share stats or if they trade or whatever they do. So hopefully when we hatch them they should be alright. None of their birds were really crazy colours or anything in there. I think the only thing that I did see in there that was crazy coloured and fly besides wyverns was there was a yellow and purple, I think it was, Trinidad. So if that hatches out and that's what it looks like and it's got half decent stats, then I'm not even going to be mad. I probably wouldn't even be mad if it had trash stats, honestly, because anything's better than nothing. I just need something to get a bit of meat with. At the moment I'm just getting some flint so I can make some spark powder because I've got a preserving bin with the kibbles and eggs that I got out within it because I don't want them to spoil. I'm not really sure what type of carnivore I want to tame, to be honest. Part of me wants a frog, because it's handy for me to get cement and paste too, because it seems like whoever's big dog on this server, or just whoever's on here in general, they seem to really go after the cement and paste. Like, holy shit, I sat there and watched it all day yesterday pretty much, and every time that it should have been there, it wasn't. I think I got it once, and that's pretty much the only reason I was able to get the little base that I'm in now into metal, although there's not really a point. I didn't bother changing the base I was in on the other server, or one of them. I've still got bases on the other server, but the main one that I was living in, I didn't bother changing that to metal because it was 6 times, and I knew that someone knew where I was built. Or I didn't 100% know, but I was pretty certain, and obviously they did. And there wasn't much point putting it into metal, because when you're by yourself, every little bit of resource you can save is a blessing. And the only shit that I used to leave in that cave was shit I didn't really care about losing. Like, there was a bunch of paste and a few guns and that, but it's nothing that isn't replaceable. I'm not here about to have a full-scale meltdown about it. I got out the shit that I needed to get myself started elsewhere, so I wouldn't have to be back with stone picks and that. And now I say that, but you're probably wondering why I'm wearing cloth pants, and it's actually a funny story. I was fighting an alpha yesterday that took forever because it was bugged out and it just constantly kept running away, and then it ran into a pack of like 3 alpha raptors. And basically it ended up a really long battle, in which case most of my armor ended up getting broken a couple times. But I did eventually end up killing it, thank God, because if I'd spent that amount of time trying to kill it and didn't succeed, I probably would have ripped my eyes out of their sockets. The original plan was for this video that I was going to tame a bunch of stuff to get me back on my feet. I couldn't even do that because straight up there was no 2 times, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth, because I was semi-reliant on it, semi-not. But as you can see, we've got our eggs. That RG egg's pretty much ready to pop, which kind of gets me keen, because as I mentioned before, I quite like the RGs, especially now. I got a stego egg that's ready to pop too. It'd be interesting to see what that came out like. I don't really have anywhere big enough to put it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What I would like to do is get this done today, get a room set up for the fabricator. I would like to build a little bit bigger than what I have been, but there's just no point, not with the playstyle that I'm playing. If I was playing solo and I was deliberately trying to get put into the ally on a server, then that'd be a bit different, because I'd be able to talk to the guys that are on the server and try to work something out, just so I know that those dudes at least ain't going to pick on me. I don't give a shit about griefers. But if you're getting bombarded by the alphas of a server as a solo player every day, that makes life pretty difficult. So at the moment we just keep small and we just war with everyone, because fuck them. And for anyone that knows that I'm crazy about scuba, yes, I did get out with my scuba. I definitely want to tame a frog or a direwolf. A frog's going to be a little bit hard because they're harder without a flyer to find a decent level one, much less get it home. As for the direwolf, it takes a little bit longer and you can't get a saddle, but I have been a big fan of direwolves for quite some time. Fuck it, what we might do is we might go to Rag. And we'll just go do a dire wolf over there. I've probably got a better chance of finding a decent level one anyway. Alright, she's still here. Ooh, I've still got quite a bit of paste in that too. And some armour left over. There's quite a bit of stuff I've left here actually. Quite a bit of metal there to be cooked up. And I mean, it's still got a fabricator and that in it, so it's just as useful to me as the other place was, minus a couple forges. And it's nice to know that little base is still there. It goes to show that sometimes the ones you don't expect to last are the ones that do. And having that little extra bit of stuff in there, even though it's not much, that helps, and it's good to know that it's there if I need it. Offload some of this fibre because I don't need that much, but I do keep some on me because instead of carrying around sleeping bags, carry around the materials for it. It's a lot lighter. And usually if you're getting chased, you can sit down for long enough to make at least a sleeping bag. I mean, I could just tame a dodo, just to like put the meat on and chuck the preserve and salt on and then just carry it around. Use it as like a little mobile fridge. It would work better if it was a Jaboa, so I could just put it on my shoulder and run around as my day pleased. Now carrying a fucking dodo. This is actually ridiculous. I can't believe there is no sheep anywhere. Just because I wanted them. Guarantee if I didn't want one, they'd be up here fucking everywhere. I'm pretty certain that the horse just called a hit on the sheep, because I can find the horses everywhere, not one single sheep though. This is one of the shitty parts about having to rely on mutton instead of kibble. This shit can happen quite too often. Oh, mythical sheep, you do exist. It's only one, so fuck. Oh yeah, cool. Hello? Thank you, fuck's sake. Okay, so we've got an hour and 12 minutes on the dodo, that's not too bad. Oh, I see another sheep. That was the most over-dramatic reaction I've ever seen out of any dino on this game. Well, it's not really a dino, but you get the point. Alright, we should have enough now. Now, because it took so goddamn long, we just gotta hope we can find a wolf really quickly. Ideally, I would have liked to put the wolf down first, then go get it, but with how scarce the numbers of sheep are at the moment, I don't really got a choice. Now, the closer the better, in my opinion, at the moment. Wonder what my chances of finding one wolf by itself, high level, are. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say not really that great. I see wolves. There's 130 in amongst those, and I want it. I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna get to it just yet, but we'll see. That's a really large pack of wolves, holy shit. It must be a couple packs merged together. No. God damn it. I'm gonna have to chuck this bag down, let myself die real quick. Again, the one I want is gonna be hard, just trying to separate them. I already tried firing an arrow, but apparently I hit it and it just didn't reg. If I can get up on top of a rock and just sit there and pepper that one, once it goes down I'll run away with the other ones, I don't even care. Yes, come this way. Oh, fuck's sake, now I don't know which one's what. Now I do. Actually, just for good measure. Look at him, that's a real champ of a mate right there. He's trying to take a bullet for him and everything. Well, an arrow, but you get the point. 10 out of 10, that's the best mate you could ask for right there. Come on, you must be feeling sleepy by now. Yes. Now just to ditch the rest of them. Follow me, I know the way. Hey buddy. One down. Oh, this one's smart. 2 down. 3 down. Nice. Now we go get the mutton, because I guarantee that I'm going to have to go find more now, but we'll chuck what we've got on it with some raw meat just to make sure it doesn't get up, because I have a funny feeling it's going to take a month of Sundays to find another sheep. How long have we got left? 44 minutes, that should give us plenty of time. There's still 2 wolves over there, it'd be nice if that Charlie would kill them. I have a funny feeling that's not going to be the case. Alright, we're definitely got to go get more mutton, because that took so long. So I'm just going to risk running without the dodo, because it's going to take way too long to get back if I do. We're just going to have to do shit the risky way, because if we don't, we might not succeed at all. Now we have the question of, are we actually going to be able to find another Ovis? That's the only three things I really miss about playing with other people, is a tech transmitter, a grill, and then a cooker. Because all those things make my life so much easier. Where the fuck are all the sheep? Somebody must be like mad farming them. I should have just went for a fucking low level one. There's no way that I'm going to be able to sit up here and tame this thing on raw meat. The whole idea of doing this before the bear was because it was a little bit quicker. This is going to take way too fucking long. And on top of that, I'm not even sure if I have the actual resources to do it. Is that a fucking sheep's head I see sticking up? Please tell me it is. Oh, thank fucking God for that. It's not a really fucking great thing at only being one, but it's better than nothing. Oh, for fuck's sake, no reg. I wonder if it's because of their horns. No, apparently not, just they don't reg anyway. You shall not run, I need you too much. Alright, let's fucking go and hope our wolf isn't awake. Gonna have really shit effectiveness now because I had to dump that roar on it to stop it from waking up. But it was either that or just go without. I would, in one way, I kind of think that it was due to under-prepping, but there wasn't a whole lot I could do. I was already over here, and there was just no overs around. I mean, I could have tried to leave that one alive at the start, and just hope whoever has been up here mass murdering them by the thousands, apparently, didn't find that particular one. But I think the only sensible thing that I really could have done was go for something a bit lower level, like we only needed to gather meat. But what's done is done now. Now that we've only just got to hope that, because we ran up here without the dodo, that it doesn't spoil. Oh, that shit there is what's been costing me half of me time. You run off and then you get just teleported back so far. Alright, that's got 42 minutes on it. That should be heaps. We should be good. We might be just clear of this bullshit. Only thing we're going to worry about now is keeping it knocked the fuck out. It's moments like these that bring me great sadness I don't have an iguanodon anymore. There, now stay knocked out, or we can always resort to the other option.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Oh, thank God for that. You are fucking disgusting, but you will serve our purpose. There, and now you have a name fitting of your disgusting status. Come on, Esky, little buddy. It wasn't your fault. Fucking other reason I wouldn't mind Aberration is to get a couple of Ravagers. They're not too bad. I don't mind them at all. And they can get a fair bit of weight, which is good. Let's go check the timer, shall we? "15 minutes. It's alright. Just because it's got 15 minutes doesn't mean the direwolf has to be here. I haven't really got a timer on anything that isn't replaceable, so I guess I can go too. One thing that I really do wish is that they'd add an optional armor for the direwolf, like how the horse is. Like, you can have it if you want it, but it's not necessary. Like, I'm not saying they should have a saddle or something, but it's something along the lines of maybe a collar. I know it probably sounds pretty stupid, but it would be nice to have that armor. But it's something I could see more on the PvE side of things than PvP, to be honest. Well, it ain't nothing great, but it's better than chasing them around by hand. Holy shit, they have a big hitbox. Yeah, this is definitely better than doing it by hand. The extra hide's nice too. But that should make getting meat so much easier for what I want to plan on doing. And that is, I'm going to have a crack at hatching that RG. I kind of want to do a PT too, but they're not actually cooked yet, so I'd have to wait. And I feel like the RG would be a little more useful to me anyway. So that's something we'll look at doing in the next couple episodes. I know it wasn't a super eventful episode, but it was either I upload this episode or I was going to have to skip an episode. And I tried to get most of the boring stuff out of the way as quick as possible. And while jumping servers to go tame a direwolf isn't the most interesting thing in the world, it's got to be better than sitting there watching me hit rocks all day. Another quick thing before I go is I want to thank all the dudes that have been showing mad support on the videos. I haven't had a real lot of time to play lately. That's why I started playing solo to begin with, among a few other reasons, but that was mostly the main reason. These episodes have been probably feeling a little bit scattered, I get that. But for all the dudes that have been showing their support every single episode, your support has been amazing. Usually when I do these type of things on the channel, they don't really get any responses at all. Nobody seems to talk. Kind of feels like you're talking to yourself sometimes. So for the first time to see people actually interested in the series, that's amazing. And all the support I've been getting, I appreciate it very much. And until the next video, guys, I shall see you later.
I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle, to the top, here